Hello everybody, welcome back to another Buried Egg review. Today we have the 6-inch Black Series Star Wars Darth Maul figure. It's number 2 in the series. Here's the box, pretty nice looking. You know, a good standard window display. On the back side you've got this nice sort of black and white negative space artwork here. You've got a quote here. I'm not going to read it to you. You can pause if you want to see what it says. You can certainly look it up online. I'm not going to be reading to my audience. And let's get to the figure here. So okay, so you've got some nice things going on here. Definitely, I mean, right off the bat, somebody cared about this figure. Whoever designed this figure definitely cared about it. I'll have some criticisms later, but I think it's important to tell everybody right off the bat that one thing you can't criticize is that Hasbro didn't care when they made this. They certainly did. A lot of attention to detail went into this. This is let's just get right into it. The cloak, the robe here is a nice flexible rubber. It feels really good. It actually, I don't know how else to say it. It just simply feels good. It's nice. It's flexible. It's bendable. It feels light, even though it looks heavy. The figure itself, you know, this is a new series. The 6-inch series is a new thing for Hasbro. We're used to Hasbro doing the 3.75 line. So this new size, there's a nice heft to the plastic. It's good, nice heavy feel in your hand. It's very nice. The articulation is outstanding. With the cloak on, he can do a lot. I mean, a lot. However, I don't think you want him to do a lot. I think with the cloak on, he's really meant to be stationary. But just take a look. I mean, you can pop the arms way out. I mean, it distorts, it deforms the cloak, which looks kind of silly looking. But the fact that you can is pretty nice. The legs have, I would call this full articulation on the legs here with the cloak on. So that's pretty impressive. With the cloak off, now watch this. This is pretty neat. You pop the head like that. See, you got it nice and loose. Then get the arms up. You want to get this position just right so that you don't do any tearing of the robe, the cloak, whatever you want to call it. So here we go, and pop the other head on, the hoodless head on. So here we go. You've got full 360-degree motion with both shoulders, the elbows. Once again, full 360 degrees all the way around. These are all ball and pin joints, and then the hands. This is interesting. It looks like the entire Black Series, at least the humanoid figures, are going to all have this kind of hand. So this hand bends this way on this axis, and this hand bends on this axis, and they rotate and everything as well. So I mean, it's full rotation and then bending on one axis, a different axis for each hand. It always seems to be the same with all the figures. Pretty nice. It's a weird limitation to put, having this one go this way and this one go this way, but it's consistent. At least there's that. Ball and socket, waist, ab crunch, ball and socket head. Here's something nice. The neck right here goes up and down, so you can get more emotional head poses. Very cool. The legs again are the hip joints are ball and pin, I guess. With a rotation right here, and then you got double jointed knees, which can look kind of funky. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know, you know, it's nice to have, but when you actually exercise it in a pose, it makes it look kind of robotic. I don't know what else to, like, just too much joint showing, too much mechanical showing from underneath. So I don't know if this is a benefit or a curse just yet. I really like these ankles. This is on again. This is all of this that I'm showing you is standard on pretty much all the Black Series 6-inch humanoid figures. So you've got this ball jointed ankle with a rotational joint as well. Very cool. Very nice for posing. I love it. I think it's great. Okay, so let's get to the accessories. This is really cool. So check out this lightsaber. If you look really close, there is a squared off peg and hole here. You see how it's kind of squared off at the bottom? So it's never going to allow you to fit it the wrong way. There's only one way for it to go, and it's like that. So all of your doodads are lined up there. All of your details, your buttons and things are always going to be lined up when you join the two saber halves together. Of course, the ends of the sabers come out, so it can have it unignited or ignited. You've got a little pin right here, a little tab on the bottom of the lightsaber hilt, so that it can tab into his belt. There's a little hole in his belt right here. One thing I don't like about the lightsaber, as nice as it's done, the double-ended lightsaber, is that it's made of such a soft rubber, the hilt, that is, that it kind of bends in the middle when you've got it completely formed. I mean, take a look at this. He's just, if you have the character just holding it with his rigid plastic hand on that soft rubber hilt, it bends the lightsaber ever so slightly in the middle. And when you're taking photographs, it's really a problem. Or just even posing, forget the photographs. So it's a little bit of an issue. I think maybe with a little bit of finagling, you get it to get it straight. You take your time and have a little patience and pose it. I don't know. I'll work with it and see, but it definitely is aggravating. I don't know why they made that choice. It should have been a much more rigid plastic. He also comes with, this is a really nice accessory. This is his binoculars that he was using. He's seen in episode 1 on the planet Tatooine. And if you look closely, there's some weather wear on this. It's pretty nicely done. It's a little bit of greenish, brown, yellowish, like pukey looking sand, I guess. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but some kind of slop painted on them. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Now, I don't know if this counts as an accessory, but I'm counting it as an accessory. The actual robe itself with the head attached, the hooded head attached into it. I mean, this is genius. This is absolutely brilliant. I don't think it works. So that maybe the execution is a little wrong, but I think the balls to go ahead and make something like this is just great. It shows a lot of initiative on Hasbro's part and being creative and clever. So you've got the head is glued inside here. If you look closely, you can see the horns, the crown of horns makes sort of a crown shape as the fabric, the rubber, what's supposed to be fabric, is draped over them. So if you look here, you can see his horns, and here they're actually sculpted underneath the sculpt of the rubber hood. So pretty cool, pretty cool. And there's a lot of detailing. If you look real close, I mean, get real close up and look, a lot of detailing on his robe. On the back here, it kind of, you can see where there's sort of a seam sewn across here, and it drapes down kind of like a gown. So it's flat under the hood here. The hood is sort of hanging over like a bag, and then you can see there's sort of a flat shoulder a flat piece of fabric spanning across the shoulders underneath the hood. You see where the seam, the line is here, and then you've got all this drapery coming down in nice, really fine detailed folds. Unfortunately, none of this works. I mean, I just don't, I look at this and I don't believe that it's fabric. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. They did a great job. They get an A for effort, but it's just, I don't believe that this is fabric. You want to see what sculpted rubber fabric looks like? Look at this. This is Pinhead from the Hellraiser series from NECA. This Pinhead, I will admit, is almost completely a statue. But hey, man, I mean, this is rubber. This is the same material as this, pretty much. It's rubber sculpted to look like fabric, and they did it right. I'm sorry, they did it right. I believe that this is fabric. This here, I just don't, you know. So they get an A for effort. They really tried, but it's just the execution failed. I'm really sorry. And if you look at the sort of hanging sleeves, the little tails on the sleeves here, I mean, what is that? Look how they curve out. Is he a butterfly? Like, look at the silhouette he creates when he's standing in the big gate at the feed hangar, you know, like in the movie, and this is kind of popping out from under his arms. It's just, I don't know, almost looks like he's holding two scythes. Those curved edged weapons. Anyway, I mean, if I can be quite frank, this robe looks, at face value, I mean, you're just looking at the figure, this robe looks like a leather jacket. It does not look like a garment, like a fabric garment. It looks like a leather jacket. I'm just going to go ahead right now and say one of my biggest peeves with this excellent figure is that they didn't use real cloth, real fabric all around. Here, let's take a look at the 3.75 vintage collection Darth Maul. So everybody out there knows, I consider the vintage collection, the 3.75 vintage collection series, the Star Wars gold standard. It's the gold standard for plastic action figures. So we're not talking about Hot Toys or Sideshow. So when it comes to just action figures, plastic action figures, the vintage collection is the absolute gold standard. I mean, look at the two next to each other. I'm not quite sure that this Darth Maul is that much of an improvement over the 3.75. We'll get into details in a minute, but just look at how much fabric got used for Darth Maul's cloak and robe and his I don't want to say undergarments, but I guess that's what they are. The drapery and clothing underneath his robe. Look, that's all cloth, and look how good it looks. They did a great job, like doing crushed cloth. You know, I don't know if they ironed it or what to look crushed, but it just, you put all those wrinkles in it. It just looks great. It looks excellent. Moving right along, the details on the head sculpt. I mean, it's certainly a fine head sculpt, you know, but again, I get this problem. It doesn't look like realistic enough. I'm not looking for Hot Toys realism. I'm just looking for the same sort of threatening feeling that I get like when I look at the 3.75 figure. Look at the 3.75 figure. That looks like an honest attempt at a Darth Maul, at a Ray Park. It looks like an honest attempt at doing Ray Park's threatening face with that war paint, you know, from the movie. But this, you know, this is a threatening look, certainly, but it's sort of cartoonish. It's a scary look the way God of War is scary looking, you know, like a Boris Vallejo painting scary, not like a really threatening alien, you know, staring you down. And it doesn't look like Ray Park. I mean, look at the upper lip. Let's take a look at the profile here. Look at the profile. That kind of upper lip, how it kind of just punches out above the lower lip a little bit. You know, Ray didn't look like that in any of his movies, let alone Phantom Menace. His lips are always kind of pursed, you know. Even when he's baring his teeth, it just didn't look like that. That sort of like fat upper lip. I don't know. It's not right, you know. But anyway, still, I mean, they really put a lot of effort into this. You can't say they didn't. Look at some of the sculpting on his blouse, for lack of a better word. I mean, look. Not only did they sculpt all the folds, the long folds from the top of the shoulders down to his belt, and his belt is a separate sculpt, by the way. You can actually move it around and stuff. But not only did they sculpt these long folds, if you look closely, you can see they actually sculpted the texture into the fabric. And it's not fabric; it's plastic we're talking about here. But they sculpted a fabric-y texture right into that. That's great. It's a great attention to detail. You got to give credit where credit is due. I mean, they certainly tried. The gloves and boots are of a higher sheen, a shinier texture than the rest of the plastic sculpted fabric. That's pretty cool. I mean, they paid enough attention to do that. That's great. So you see the gloves here are shiny, the boots are shiny, the pants are more of a dull coat. The pants themselves, if you look very closely, have again a fabric-y texture sculpted into them. I don't recall any. I mean, even if you went really close up with a camera on the actual movie outfit, I don't recall there being any visible. I don't think that you'd see a visible texture even on a close up of the pants, for example. But I mean, they tried. At least they tried. They tried to put something in there. You know, not just bland. I mean, it's black. It's all black, so it's not like you can do a wash. I personally think you could do a wash. But a very skilled painter, like look at the Batman, and this is not a fair comparison. Don't mistake this for a comparison. But I'm just saying, look at the Batmans that are being cranked out of Kai Play Arts, Square Enix Kai Play Arts. Those Batmans all have black capes, but the black cape has a wash on it. So yes, you could do a wash on this. It would be very difficult. I think that since they have to sort of forego doing a wash on this black outfit, they opted to. They still try to give us something. So they gave us these kind of awkward-looking sculpted fabric textures. But you know, again, A for effort. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is really a pass for me. If I had to make a decision to buy this or if you were to ask me your advice, you know, whether to buy or not buy, this one's a pass for me. But it's definitely, I mean, they've tried. This is a character that a lot of effort has gone into it. It's just it's not there yet. I would, you know, if I had to give a recommendation, I would say you're better off sticking with your 3.75, the vintage collection version of Darth Maul, or going all the way up to I don't know, has Sideshow cranked one out yet? I don't even know. So yeah, that's my review for Darth Maul on the 6-inch Black Series. It's a great figure that's not quite there yet. Thanks for watching. Still debate.